Hi everyone, you've reached Chronicles of the Gray Hair Diva and I'm Cheryl. If this is your first time, welcome. If not, welcome back. I hope all of you out there hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you will be notified. If you like this video, hit that like button, share it with friends, and tell all your friends and family about my channel. I would really appreciate it. Today, I'm here for a quick moment to talk about a movie that I saw on Amazon Prime. It's called Slyvies Love. It's a great, really cute, romantic movie. I give the movie a 5 stars out of 5. However, I will say, to me, it wasn't really a new concept about love. It wasn't really a new storyline or a plot line. It is something that we probably seen before in other movies, but they done it in a really nice way. So for instance, if you happen to have seen The Photograph, a movie that came out earlier this year, and Lisa Ray was one of the stars, this Sylvie's Love kind of has similar plot lines as, The Photograph. So the stars of Sylvie's Love is Tessa Thompson, who was in the movie Creed. If you're a big Rocky fan, this was kind of Creed is a spinoff from the Rocky, series. And so she was she was a love interest in the movie Creed. She's absolutely beautiful, but besides that, she's an amazing actress. So she did a good job in Creed, and she does an amazing job in this Sylvie's Love. So I would say, you know what, if you have Amazon Prime, or you know a friend that has Amazon Prime, it's definitely a must see. So Tessa Thompson is one of the stars, and she actually is the star of Sylvie's Love. She plays Sylvie. And then I do not want to assassinate his name, but Kerry Washington's husband. And this is the first time I personally have seen him in anything. He's an extremely handsome guy. He is the love interest of Sylvie in this movie, and his name is Robert. So it's just, it was just a great movie, and they had great chemistry together in this movie. So Sylvie Love, it takes place in like the 1950s and 1960s in New York, Harlem. And Sylvie came from a very prominent family, and she lived with her mom and dad. And the dad owned a record store, so they have this, like, in this family, like, just a love for music. So Sylvie, in the beginning of the movie, she was engaged. So she was engaged to her fiance, and her fiance, again, a very prominent family. His parents are one of his, I think either the mom or dad was a father. I mean, the mom and dad was a father. Either the mother or the dad was a doctor, and he was a businessman, and he was away at the time period in which she met the character Robert, which kind of, they didn't use these words, but was her actual soul mate. So they met in her father's record store, and they kind of hit it off almost from the moment they met each other. And so she ended up getting into like a relationship with Robert, in spite of being engaged to her fiance. This quick relationship they had, it resulted in her getting pregnant. But Robert, was an up and coming saxophonist, and he actually got a gig, an opportunity to take a gig in Paris. And that was around the time where the character Sylvie found out that she was pregnant with his child, and she kind of didn't want to block him from, having his dream. So she let him go off to Paris and never told him that she was pregnant, and going to have this baby. So I kind of don't want to tell you too much after that. I really want you to see the movie, so I don't want to give away too many spoilers. But I wanted to give up to that moment to say this, and when I say that, it's not an unusual plot line. It's not nothing that we haven't seen before. So it's kind of like, here you have this female, she falls in love with this guy, like this is like her dream man, but he has a dream about his career. She's pregnant. She doesn't want to tell him. So she just, she's like this great person, and just like doesn't tell him so he can go off and fulfill whatever dream that he wants to have. I mean, we've seen kind of like a plot like that in other movies. And it's a similar kind of situation. If you've seen earlier this year, they have a movie out called The Photograph, another amazing movie if you are into movies. and that movie starred Issa Rae. So with that movie, it's kind of has a similar plot to like Sylvie's Love. So, back to Sylvie's Love. So that was like she kind of let Robert go off and didn't want to tell him that she was pregnant because she didn't want to stop him from fulfilling his dreams. And the story continues and kind of evolves from that standpoint. And life goes on for her, life goes on for him. She has a baby, she ends up getting married, but they talk, even though she got married, it ends up that Robert comes back to New York and they run into each other, and then a whole lot happens in the movie after that point. Again, I don't want to spoil the entire movie for you. I really want you to check it out on Amazon Prime because it's just great acting. It's a great storyline that has some, other little talking points in it that we can kind of get into. Just the idea of, do you let, if you are pregnant and maybe you're young, maybe you're not young, but that the person that you are pregnant by has this great opportunity, and that if you tell them you are pregnant, that they won't go ahead with this opportunity and they'll try to stay with you so that they can do right by you and the baby. Do you tell them or don't you tell them? It's like that, crossroad in the road kind of speak. Like what do you say? Should you let them go? Should you at least give them the opportunity to make their own decision, or do you make the decision for them because you really want them to be successful and to try to go make this career that they have? But are you being fair to your unborn child by making a decision for your child that father is not going to be in your child's life because you didn't even tell the father that the baby is existed, or so it kind of like, that's where it kind of muddies the water for me. It's like, I get it, what she was trying to do and not telling the character Robert about her pregnancy, but at the same time, I mean, we could have like 1,000 talking points on how that is just so fair to the other person, you not telling them that you are pregnant and giving them the opportunity to decide or say whether they want to stay or go, or what they want to do, or what role they want to play in this situation. And then we could take it to a whole nother level of just the whole religious thing of this is why they said no one should have sex before they get married. And listen, I am not judging. If you see one of my other videos, I clearly tell you I am a single mother who had my child, out of wedlock. I was not married. So I am by no means judging, but just because I don't, I'm not judging. I totally, like, I'm a Christian, I totally understand, the Bible and why it says that. Like, when we walk outside of the word and we kind of do our own thing, we get ourselves into a whirlwind of problems and troubles. And this is one of them. This is like one of the consequences. And this is not to say that just because you're married, no one is ever going to get divorced or nothing will happen between a husband and wife. But it just lowers the chances when you have a couple that is committed to each other, and they're dedicated to their family, and they're dedicated to each other, and they're dedicated to the children that they have, and want to make sure that they stay together so that the mental health and well-being of their children, is going to be better as a result of them being a whole, like, one loving family. So it kind of deals with that issue there too. It's like, here she is, she's pregnant, she was engaged, but now she's pregnant by some other guy. She doesn't tell him, so he doesn't even get an opportunity to say, what he wants to do and how he wants to play a role in his own, child's life. So it goes through this story, and I would just say this about Sylvie's Love. Like, the cinematology was just absolutely amazing. The I guess I'm gonna call it costumes, because the way that they dressed them in the movie, I thought it was great. I just love fashion, and I thought Tessa Thompson's wardrobe in that whole movie was just absolutely beautiful. There's another beautiful thing that I loved about the meeting. I keep saying meeting, I'm thinking about work. That's so funny. The movie is that Tessa Thompson's character, Sylvie, her cousin, they have like a nice few scenes with her, between her and her cousin, and her cousin and her just had just an amazing like close relationship. And that's what I loved about the movie too. So it just shows like different pockets of relationships throughout the movies. Like it shows the relationship between Sylvie, her dad, and her mom. And her mom was very much like, let's hold on to our prestige. Like she told her when she noticed that Sylvie was falling for Robert, and Robert, of course, was not like of the upper crest, so to speak. When she noticed that Sylvie was falling for Robert, the mom spoke to her and was like, "Look, a young lady doesn't do this. Like, pretty much, you're engaged. Um, just tell him, leave you alone, so forth and so on." So, the mother was sticking to that prestige thing. The father, Sylvie's father in this movie, played a very nice role in it because you saw the father-daughter relationship. Like the father was into the fact that she, had this true love. She had this true love, and her true love was Robert and not her fiance. So her father was kind of like, fostering that. So her father, she was daddy's little girl. She was daddy's little girl. So it shows the mother-father relationship between the daughter. It showed Tisa having, I'm saying Tisa is her real name, but her character's name is Sylvie. Like Sylvie just having this great friendship and relationship with her female cousin, just the way they connected in the movie. And then of course it showed Sylvie and Robert, the way the connection that they had, like their love was unbreakable. Like years of them being apart still didn't tamper with their love. So that's a nice story. But also, and she has a husband. So when he went off to go ahead with his career, and again he didn't know anything about the baby. In the meantime, life went on for her and she got married. So it kind of shows a little dynamic there between her and her husband. And again, I'm not going to tell you like, if her and her husband broke up or how that situation played out. I'm just here to say that 100%, I think the movie is a must-see. If you're into love stories, romantic stories, if you're a hopeless romantic, or if you just like, and believe in this whole soulmate thing, like, there's just one person in this world that is your soulmate, then this is definitely the movie for you. And again, on Amazon Prime, I believe sometimes on Amazon Prime, there's movies you have to pay for. Because, matter of fact, I know there is, because when I first saw the photograph, it was on Amazon Prime and I had to pay. But this Sylvie's Love, it was part of my Amazon Prime. I was so happy. Did not have to pay any additional money because I paid, a bill for Amazon Prime. So I didn't have to pay any additional money, but it was part of my Amazon Prime, perks, I guess you could say. But it's a phenomenal movie. It's a great movie. And I think it's a little under 2 hours. So you need some time to sit down when you're going to watch it. But when you do sit down, the 2 hours go by extremely fast. It's well worth it, and you do not want to like take your eyes off the screen. You just kind of feel the love and you feel everything that's going on with the movie. And then it also kind of deals with when a married couple and you have a husband, and the husband kind of just wants the wife to just stay at home and be just the mother and the overseer of the home and the children. But then you have this wife that wants to have her own career. It kind of dealt with, a little bit on that. And then, her husband was like, I don't mind you working, but your working can't interfere with, your home life and everything that I'm trying to build as a man. But it wasn't in a chauvinistic way. I think it was like, just how those times were back then, because it was set in the 1950s as 1960s. So, but then there are some men that still feel that way today. So it's a great movie to watch with friends. It has a lot of speaking points to it. Because like I said, you can speak about, kind of like, is there really a soulmate thing? Does everyone really believe like this? You just have this one soulmate. And if you're not with them, then I guess, there's this old Luther song that says, love the one you with. And I think that's what she ended up doing for a time period with her husband. She was loving the one she was with, but then as soon as her character, Sylvie's character, Robert, her soulmate, came back into the picture, she could no longer love the one she was with. So it's interesting, but it's a good conversation starter that you can have with all of your friends. I guess now we have to be over Zoom because of COVID, but if it wasn't because of COVID, it could be over dinner. Like, you can have a group of friends and you can have so many great conversations from this movie. But overall, I definitely give it a thumbs up. It's a great movie. Amazon Prime, I believe for all Prime members, it is free. For all the rest of you, find somebody that has Prime and go to their house and watch it with them. But listen, guys, thank you for listening. Stay tuned to my channel. I'm really trying to up my content and drop a video every single day. So pray with me. Pray for me, hug your friends, love your friends, and stay safe out there. Wear your mask up. And if you believe in vaccines, when a vaccine comes out, get yourself vaccinated so that you can stay safe and protected. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Hit like, share comments in the comment section, and I will go and respond to you. Thank you so much. Stay safe. Bye.